my friends, welcome back to another episode. And it's funny every time, it's a new week and we roll on over to the vaRAIety podcast, and then I realize, oops, I still need to work on a freaking new streamer source loading place. That needs vaRAIety, you need to get to work. Maybe in January I can do it because I'll have a break, doing podcasts every other week. So on the week that I don't have to do a podcast, I can just spend that time working on the scene. I don't think it'll take that long. I just have to make it look nicer than nothing. But then again, the nothingness is kind of like our brand now. So I don't know. But no, I think I'm going to try to make a real nice source for us to hang out in, my studio, so to speak. Well, I'm not even sure if people even glance at the screen, so maybe it doesn't even matter. But either way, I'm going to do it because, I don't know, it sounds like a good idea. But anyway, hello, gang. Welcome back to another episode. I believe, I am pretty darn certain, and I just double-checked to make sure we are on episode number 12. So, hooray. That's a lot of episodes. Well, sorry. We did 12 last week. This is 13. Wow, 13 episodes. Crazy. But, yeah, we only have this week and then one more to end out the year. And then that's it. That's a wrap on the year. So we're going to end this year with 14 beautiful episodes. And I just, as always, want to thank you, because I know there's a handful of you who listen in full every single week. And it means a lot that you would like to have my silly voice in your ear while you do stuff. So thank you. That means a lot. I appreciate it. And I hope you'll continue to enjoy it. We do have, like I said, some good things planned for 2025. It'll be a bi-weekly podcast, just so everyone's not as burnt out. I think it'll be a little better for everyone. So we'll do the bi-weekly podcast. And I have some guests lined up. And so that'll be cool. And yeah, I don't know. It just should be an exciting year. I'm excited. But any hoodles. Today I wanted to devote a good portion of the episode today to just kind of talking about myself and telling some stories and some cool things about me and my past, and some neat little things, because I guess we never really things are mentioned on stream and stuff. Like, I'll talk about myself a little bit, and many of you guys have been my friends or followed me on Twitter for many, many years, and so you've kind of seen my life, but or you see me talk about it, whatever. But I thought it'd be a good opportunity, because I still have people surprised, like, oh, you were a writer, you played poker for a living, like, that's crazy, like, tell me more about that. So I figured if some people are curious, probably more people are curious, and they would like to hear about some of those cool things. So I've got to, I wanted to go into those two things in particular, about how I got started writing, how I got started poker playing, and how I did that as a living and what that entails. And I also had just kind of a cool story. Well, I don't know if it's cool. It's kind of scary, but it's a story I like to tell because it was an exciting ish story. But anyway, let's just get into it. So yeah, me writing. So many of you know, if not all, that I wrote a novel. And yeah, so I have always been into writing, ever since I was a wee lad. I still have all my old stories, from when I was a kid, and especially in elementary school, I wrote a lot. I couldn't tell you how many hundreds of pages of stories I have. Mostly, like, a little kid is like not going to write more than like a quote unquote short story. But I remember in like 5th grade writing like several pages worth of writing, which, I mean, yeah, that's not really that big of a deal, right? As an adult, like, yeah, anyone can do that, whatever. But like as a little kid, it was like actually pretty impressive. Like, it was a lot of writing. So I just always kind of took inspiration from things around me, and like real life things, like, things I had with my friends, or like things we did or stuff like that, went into the inspiration. And also video games. Like, I remember Mystical Ninja. I streamed Mystical Ninja last year. Was it last year? Yeah, 2023, right? I streamed Mystical Ninja last year, but Like that was a game that inspired a lot of stories from me. And I thought it was just a really cool game. For example, I mean, Chrono Trigger, I already talked about the inspiration that literally had on my novel. So it's like, yeah, I guess video games have always been a huge part of my inspiration for writing. I think, I mean, I guess it obviously makes sense, right? Because these are like these great stories that are being told in a different medium, right? But like video games are just a story being told in the form of a video game. Like movies are a story being told in the form of a movie. They all kind of tie back at the end of the day to a story, which has always been a passion of mine. So yeah, I mean, I did that a lot. I've always been into writing. I've always done very well in like English and writing and classes like that because I love that. I mean, I cranked out I wonder if I could find that. Let's see if I can find it. I probably don't have it on. I probably have to get it. I probably don't. Well, actually, no. I can pull it from my email. I'll bet you. Hold on, because I send it to people once in a while. My novel. So I probably have. Hold on. Let's find this. Let's see if I can find this. Novel. All right, here we go. Yeah, I sent it to Lava Stan, who asked for it on July 23rd, 2022. Wow, that's a long time ago. Wonder if you read it. That's a long time ago. All right, let me see if I can just quickly see how many words there are. I'm just curious. I don't know if I'll be able to quickly see, but yeah, like I wrote this novel in roughly 3 weeks. And, you know, mind you, you're probably thinking, oh, well, it's probably shit then because you wrote it in 3 weeks. But I mean, I don't know. It's not, I don't know. Maybe. Let's see. Can I do this on the Word? Can I do this on the Word version where I can actually see how many words it has? Like the Word online version? Maybe not. I think not. I think I'd have to download it. But I mean, it's 60-something thousand word, a 60-something thousand word novel that I wrote in roughly 3 weeks, and I was on the grind, dude. That's not like me bullshitting, like you know, doing like a crappy work. That was me grinding it out, dude. Every day I was writing thousands of words, and I was just locked into my laptop during that time, like super locked in. I would turn on like some like ambient music and just block everything out, like ignore my friends. And I would just lock the hell in, dude. And I was so locked in for that. And yeah, I mean, I just really love writing. So it was a really therapeutic experience for me. I talked about it before, but like writing that novel was a time in my life when I was really, really in a tough mental space. You know, people throw around the word depressed sometimes when it doesn't fit, but like probably pretty depressed. And like being in a tough mental space, it was like a really, really good outlet for me to just write, to just get words out, because like, I don't know, that's always been a great outlet for me, just like talking. And like you guys, I mean, everyone here knows me, like whether it be on text or whether it be on calls or whether it be whatever, I love yapping. And like writing words or saying word, whatever it may be, like it is such an outlet for me to like, I mean, it can be an outlet for me, I guess, when I'm not feeling good, but in general, it's just a good like outlet for happiness, I guess. I don't know. I just like yapping, you know? So it's a good like way for me to be happy when I'm typing like furiously. And I did that typing test recently on, I think, where were we talking about that at? Like Game Orchestra maybe? But like I got like 146 words per minute, and I was like, oh, well, my typing speed has gone up since I last like did a test like that. But it's I'm an efficient typer. So when I'm locked in, I can really, really, really burn through some words. You know, I can get a lot of words out there. So yeah, I did that, and I enjoy my novel. And, you know, unfortunately, I had like these vast goals to make it a trilogy. And then I started on book number 2 within a few months after. Like, so basically, here's my progress. I wrote the book, and the book was written in the month of November, end of November. And then by the next, then I spent like the summer and stuff like like editing, like the spring and the summer editing, and then like okay, I'm good with it, self-published, bam, like it's done. So that was done, and then in I don't know, probably like September or October, I started on my second novel, which originally this was set to be a trilogy, and so I was set on my second novel, and I got probably 10 to 15,000 words in, and then I hit a wall, and then I have not gone back. It's been a hot minute, so that's where it sits. But I did want to, make it a trilogy. Like that was my goal. I have names for the trilogy. I had like ideas for the trilogy, and I don't know. I'm a trilogy guy, dude. Like I think trilogies are really good, and some of my favorite things in life are a trilogy. So I think having 3 is like a great number. It's not too few. It's not too few, but it's not so many that you become, overbearing. Like, let me go write 50 books, in the same series. That's a little much. But 3 is a sweet number to be able to get all your thoughts out. And yeah, bada bing, bada boom. But I don't know. I like I said, I hit kind of a wall, and I didn't touch it for a while. And I haven't touched it in a while. Do I think someday I might have the motivation to finish? I think maybe. It's just going to be a matter of finding the motivation, because there's so many things to do, and we're doing one of them right now. We're recording the podcast, but it really is the constant struggle, and something like that, it takes a lot of time. I really have to lock in, and I don't have the time to lock in. Like I'll be honest, most things I do in this day and age, I'm not very locked in. You know what I mean? Like, I cannot say that I am locked in for the most part on things like I was when I wrote a novel, and you do have to be locked in for that. So perhaps I could see myself locking in. I believe in myself a lot, right? You guys know that I have confidence in myself, and so I could see myself getting to that point where I can lock in. It's not now. It's probably not in the near future. But life is long, and that's something that's great too, right? It's like your life is, knock on wood, hopefully your life is long, and it's like I have time, and saying I have time is kind of like a dangerous trap to put yourself in, because like you think, oh, I have all the time in the world, and then someday you don't. But I think I realistically do have time, and worst case, if it ends up being just a singular novel, honestly, my novel closed in a way that I think I'm pretty good at that. Like, I think my novel closed in a way where it's open enough that it could have a sequel. Like, if you read it, you might think, oh, like a sequel seems possible, but not so much that it's like you're boxed in. There has to be a sequel, right? And not so close like a sequel doesn't make sense. When there's like a movie or a book that clearly ends and it's like, okay, and then they make a sequel anyway, and you're like, what the hell? This was not needed. Why did this exist? I think I'm, knock on wood, I think I'm pretty good at doing that, and I think I succeeded on that pretty dang well in my book. So I don't know, just some thoughts getting out there. But yeah, I've always been super into writing, and like when I was in college, I took a lot of writing classes in college. They weren't tied to my major at all, which was business, but I took a lot of writing classes just because I really enjoyed them. Those are my favorite classes, and she was a pretty well-known poet who I took like my last writing class in college with, and she was so we kind of did both in her class. We did poetry, and we did like creative writing, like short stories and the like, which was it was a great opportunity from like a pretty prominent poetry artist who has like many books published. It was a cool opportunity, and she was, maybe she's being nice, but she was a pretty big fan of my work, or she liked what I wrote, and she had invited me to be a part of the poetry workshop, like the highest level course that they offered, because she really liked my poetry. Um, and here's a, I guess um, here's another fun fact. I was a previously, and it's not. I'm not sharing the poem with you. I don't think it's good. Sorry, but I did have a poem published in a poetry anthology as well. Um, but I'm not. I mean, I'm not really passionate about poetry. I think poetry is beautiful. Like, you know me. Like, I'm very. I try to be very on point with my words. Like when I say something to someone, I try to be very precise with my words. Which poetry is great for that because it's a shorter medium, so your words have a lot more power. And so I do think I'm actually pretty strong in that area. It's just, I mean, for whatever reason, I just have always leaned toward more short stories or long stories like novels. But it's not my preference. But I was very honored to be invited to that, and I think it was my second to last semester in college, and I think I had everything lined up for my next semester. And to be honest, I was kind of checked out at that point. So I was like, wow, that's really amazingly awesome. Like, thank you for the opportunity. But I don't, no, thank you, basically. So yeah, I don't know. It kind of, it was definitely a hard offer to decline because like it was like an invite only course that not that many people got into, and it would have been a good opportunity. But I knew, it wasn't what I was going to do for like a career. Although it did cross my mind before, doing it as a career. And I mean, it always has. I've thought about it many, many times, but I don't know. It feels like it's a hard career, right? Being a writer is a really hard career, and you're kind of struggling and you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself, and it kind of kills something for me that's always been an outlet for my feelings and like something I do just for myself. It's kind of hard to, turn that into a career where you're kind of stressed, and you're kind of worried about, am I going to write something good enough that I, that I can make a living. I need to make a dang living. It's not just about fun. It's about, will I live? So I knew I probably wouldn't do that as a career. And so I passed up on the opportunity. And I do think about it. I think about it a lot, and it probably would have been a cool opportunity. But that's sometimes opportunities don't work out, and that's okay. I got, that was actually after my, like I was getting more into writing, but, yeah, so I don't know, like basically that's my writing history. I still like writing. I haven't, I mentioned it a couple times. I've done like one or two, maybe, horny, furry stories in my life. So very, very few. And it's not, it's not really my forte. But I've done a little bit. I've dabbled there, and I mean, I still love writing, but I just get it out. I just get it out in other forms. Like I freaking write eloquent messages to people, and then that's my writing. So I don't know. I've always loved writing. I will always love writing. It'll always be a part of me. And maybe in a time when I can truly lock in, I'll be able to write some more books, because it would be great. I mean, but it really is the challenge of so many things I want to do. I've always, just like I have always had a passion for writing, I've always had a passion for content creation, like, we're seeing here. So that's a lion's share of my non-work time. And then, I've been taking up music. I'd love to be able to do more music and learn more music and like dive into that a lot more, because I think music is such an amazing outlet too. Like music is such an outlet for me in general, to like mood, like if I'm not feeling good, for example, like I pop on a song that's going to comfort me. And so it's such a good outlet for me in general. And I think me being able to play music, like it has already been really helpful for me, and it's only been a few months. So like I can really imagine that being like a really, really important outlet for me, for my feelings, and just kind of to chill in general. Even now, like if I'm feeling a little stressed, I might pull out the ukulele and play it for a few minutes. Just, not even having a lot of time, just like, let me take a few minutes and do this because it's something that calms me down. So yeah, it's just a case of too many things, it'd be cool to do art. It'd be even cool to like try programming stuff again. Like there's so many different things I would like to do. and not enough time ever. So it's a revolving door of what can I do, what do I have time to do, and what makes sense. And you don't let me get down the path of oh no, I'm so busy. But it is a struggle when there's so much you want to do and so truly so little time. People make that like that reference like so much to do, so little time, but it is really dang true. It really is. So we'll keep rocking it. But yeah, so I guess that's about it for my writing journey. And yeah, I mean, we'll keep on at it forever, hopefully, to some extent. So that's my writing journey, but let's talk about my poker journey, because I think that one's kind of, I guess, the more fascinating one. I think like many people like writing, and there's many people who can say, yeah, like it's cool to want to write. Like I think many people have done some forms of writing stories or whatever, and everyone's probably on the same level as me there. So it's like it's not as unique of a skill, I guess. Still a skill, but poker is something I think a lot more interested. People find a lot more interesting when I talk about my history with poker, and like how I decided to do poker for a living. And yeah, so basically, let me tell you about it. So from a young age, I hung out with friends who I think really the reason why is because like their parents were really big into cards, and so they were into cards. I think that is really the short story of it, because I remember from a young age, a pretty stupidly young age, I would play like cards with my friends. And in those days, right, like when you're like 9 years old, you're not it's not that serious, right? Like maybe at most you're playing for like pennies. I remember a lot of penny games, like, whoa, you have like 100 pennies, dude. Like, oh my God, like if you lose that whole amount, holy crap, that's insane. But in reality, it's like $1, right? But like, yeah, so that's kind of where I started, like playing those games and just kind of learning. And it was a fascinating game to me because I've always loved numbers, and poker is all about numbers and math and probability and statistics and all this stuff that just is so sorry to say the word, it's so yummers, okay? It's so yummers to me, and I love that stuff. So I always did, and I mean, just as I kind of progressed, I got older and older. I started playing more serious games. I remember I was probably like 14 at the time, maybe 14 or 15, and at that time I was playing for what I considered big bucks. Like I would play with friends, or sometimes not even necessarily friends, but just people I knew, like acquaintances, I guess is often the case. And I would win like $20 or $30, and I would just be like, "Holy crap! I am rich! Like I am absolutely the richest person in life." When you're just a kid and like money is so much more valuable, it's like that is the craziest amount of money I can ever imagine. Like I am the greatest of all time. I am rich. So yeah, that's kind of where I started, and I went to that age, and then it was probably by like 16. Let's see, can I talk about this? Sure. So at 16, I was a little more, I guess, adventurous, and I started playing online poker. And you can't say I can't say I did it for a living, quote unquote, at 16, because I was like in high school and stuff. But and plus I worked at KFC also when I was 16. But I started playing online poker, and you have to be 18 to play online poker. Wink, nudge. But yeah, so like I started playing online poker, and it was really exhilarating. I remember the first time I must have been 16, maybe 17, definitely not 18. I was either 16 or barely 17. And a friend of mine who was also in high school, I met a friend, and he was a really cool guy, and he's such a good person. I won't say his name, but he's such a really good person. He's always been so supportive of me in life, and he's always been really, really impressed with me. And I'm an easy guy. Like if you flatter me and like say nice things about me, and like he always showed such a genuine like admiration for me. And I mean, he's an incredibly hardworking and super smart guy, so it means a lot coming from him. But like he's always shown me so much support, and he actually got me started playing online poker because he was doing it full time at like 16. And the reason being is because his parents were very strict, and they were, to be honest with you, they were very poor. And his parents told him, like, as soon as you turn 18, you are going to have to get your own place. Like, we're kicking you out because, we're poor and stuff. So like, we want you out at 18. You're going out, period. So he knew he had to hustle and he had to build something. So he was playing like actually full time. Like, I'm pretty sure he missed a lot of classes and stuff for it. For me, it was just a kind of side hobby-ish, profitable-ish hobby on the side kind of thing. But for him, it was life. And I learned so much from him. I remember the first time I won. Well, here's an interesting story. So he actually got me started with $50 online to start playing online poker at this site that he played at, which he gave me $50 and he said, "Hey, here's $50. Like, if you win with it, if you do good with it, then just like give me back the 50, no prob. If you lose it, like, no worries. I just wanted to like help you out, and I wanted to kind of be the one to help you get started." So he gave me that $50, and I started playing. And at first, I wasn't doing very well. It's different when you're playing against real, quote unquote, real poker players versus your pals in like your friend's garage. It's very different, and so I wasn't doing too well to start. And I remember, and this is like such a cool story. I remember playing a tournament with like my last, I think it was like literally like $1. It was my last dollar, and everything had gone really poorly with that $50, and I was so downtrodden. I was just like, shit, like my friend gave me money, I lost it, and like now I'm not gonna have any money online to play poker, and like I guess I just probably won't play poker anymore. And I was on my last dollar. And then, when you just like, it's kind of similar, and I know most of you guys aren't like poker players, or you don't really understand the art of the poker tournament, but think of it like, I don't want to say League of Legends because there's people that don't like League of Legends, but think of it like a match of any game, right? Like a long match. And do you guys ever have those matches where you just pop off and you're just like, wow, I'm like popping off right now? That was me in that tournament. And I was talking to my friend, like I don't know if we were on the phone or if we were on like a chat program online. I don't really remember. But like I was talking to him and I'm just like, dude, I'm like crushing it right now. And I'm just crushing it. And I'm moving through, like doing better, growing my chip stack. And I basically, at the end of it all, I had won the tournament and I got like $300. And with that $300, I paid him back his 50. And I, with my newfound confidence, I went on to just be an absolute terror. So from those ages of 16 to 18, I was on an absolute tear. And I remember it was crazy, dude. I was playing like $100 tournaments, like a buy-in of $100 and just like crushing them. And those are hard tournaments. Those are not easy tournaments. Like even now I would be intimidated, but I was a little 16-year-old just slaying. And I mean, made many thousands. Again, that was just part-time. I was in school full-time and I was working at KFC. And by the way, I was leading I had a community in Counter-Strike that I was like the leader of, that I managed, like a server and a website and all this stuff. So I had a lot going on. But I played poker because I love poker, and I crushed it. And so that was amazing. So that was like my earliest years. And then on my 18th birthday, I literally at 12:01 on my 18th birthday, I went to the casino with my friends. And the struggles of vaRAIety never seem to stop, because I went to the casino, like the real life casino, for the first time. It was in California. There's Indian casinos where you can go at 18, right? So it's not 21. So I went at 18 with my friends, freshly 18, like 18 in 1 minute. And I went into the poker room and I sat down at a table, and within a few minutes, I'd lost all the money that I had at the table. Honestly, it was pretty dang bad luck. To be fully honest with you, I did not misplay it. I just got insanely unlucky. But that happens in poker, right? So you have to be aware. So here I am, like 10 10 minutes into my 18th birthday, I just lost all my money at the poker table. Another tumultuous event for Raichu. And it was horrible. It was like so freaking upsetting. And then I went home, and being that I was 18 now, I could officially register for this poker site that I really had wanted to have been playing on. But I hadn't, because I knew if you register for the site before you're 18, you're kind of locked. You're limited with what you can do, because at some point, if you show them your ID, they're going to know, wait a second, you've had an account here for 3 years. So you're limited to what you can do. So this site I was saving for my 18th birthday, I registered. And 4 days after that, what do you call it? That devastating situation at the casino. 4 days later, I was scheduled to go meet some friends after work to go to the casino. Well, they were working, and like I was off, and we were scheduled to go to the casino. And I think we were scheduled to go at like midnight or something really late, because we were all working at KFC at the time, and you know, some people have to work late. So it was like 4:00 that afternoon, and I said, oh, I'll go play a poker tournament, like online on this new site that I just registered on my 18th birthday. And long story short, I was very late to meet my friends because I was having another one of those tournaments, and it is still the single most I have won in a single tournament at $2,500, and I won that tournament. My friends had to wait like 2 hours for me because I was stuck in an online tournament, crushing it. But it's one of the funniest stories, because every like 15 minutes I'd have to text them like, still in the tournament, guys, I'll be there soon. Still in the tournament. Hey guys, I'm still in the tournament. And then eventually, guys, I freaking won the tournament. I'm on my way. So it was a really, really exciting thing. And yeah, in that first month of being 18, the very first month of me being 18, I made almost $6,000 playing poker online. And it was, I mean, off to the races from there. I spent all my college years playing poker. And doing well. I mean, I was never, and a lot of people, you know, when people hear online like a professional poker player, I know people oftentimes will think like, oh, you're making millions of dollars. I was never that guy, right? I was never a $1 million maker. I was a grinder, is what they call it, and the grinders are the people who are kind of grinding out a living. And I made a decent living. You know, definitely more than I would have made working at like what I would have been qualified for in college, right? Like I would have been qualified to work at like, I don't know, McDonald's or something. So I definitely made a lot more than that. But you know, not like rich or anything. So yeah, so I did that. And I just remember I was like such a celebrity in college in the dorms, because like the people thought I was so freaking cool, dude, because they would watch me play tournaments in the dorms, and they thought I was the coolest guy ever because I was just crushing it. Like at one point, the website I was playing on had an article on me on their website because I was doing like so well. And like everyone, like they were like, don't get me wrong, I'll be honest with you, they were a lot of them were kind of douchey, but you know, I was still happy. Listen, I'm just a normal guy, okay? I like praise, and they hella, as Game Orca put it so wisely, they hella glazed me, okay? So you know what? I'll take that glazing. It was great. I mean, it was a really fun time, and I did well. Playing poker for a living is a lot like writing for a living. It's a lot more stressful than playing poker for fun. And eventually it came to the point where I had to, you know, you have to go all in, right? And it's like, do I want to keep playing poker, or do I want to get a big boy job after college and, you know, make a resume? Because, you know, you're all in. If you don't have a resume, like imagine I get to like, you know, 30, 35, 40 years old and like I have no resume at all, which, you know, this is what I foresaw at like, you know, 22 years old. Like I need to plan for the future. I've always been a planner, right? So I said, you know, this stress that comes from poker coupled with the fact that I need to build a resume means that I'm not going to do it full time. I'm going to go get a big boy job. And I still played poker. I still play poker to this day. I still have my big boy job. But yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's the term people in poker use is it's a hard way to make an easy living, because it really is. It's very difficult. It's very stressful. And as you can imagine, a game based around a large luck factor means that you can have streaks where, and a lot of people don't understand this. A lot of people, like, even my parents, like, didn't understand the fact that, like, when you play poker for a living, it's not, you have a real job, right? It's very consistent. Every 2 weeks you get a paycheck. In poker, you could be playing perfectly, make no mistakes whatsoever, and absolutely get your ass kicked for months, and where you're only losing money. And you have to be able to see that, and it requires a certain mindset, which I've always been good at that mindset. I've always had the mindset of like optimism and like, and being able to like, because a lot of people, poker players melt down because they go into like a meltdown. Like, I've been losing for a month straight, I must just be trash. And the kind of person that like is very self-deprecative in not in a funny way, but in like a really bad way, where they can kind of spiral out of control in that regard, where it's like, oh, well, I've been losing for a month, so I must be shit at poker. I'm shit at life, and they just lose everything. They just fall apart, and they, horror stories, but like, bad stuff can happen. So yeah, like that is the road that it's a tough road, but I have a good mental mindset, and I did pretty well of managing my emotions through those times. Like I said, I knew at the end of the day, I didn't want to be a poker player for my entire life, like a professional full time. I really enjoy poker, and I love the fact that even now I can play poker for fun. And if I win a few $100s or $1,000, whatever, hey, that's freaking awesome. It's money I can spend on fun stuff. And if I don't, no problem. It's okay. I had fun. I had entertainment, and it's a much healthier mindset than having to worry about trying to pay your bills with poker money. So, yeah, here's the other interesting story. I'm surprised I left this out because it's kind of a core part of my my early poker days. Is when I was 18. After that first month it was in May. My poker account actually got hacked, and I lost 5,000 ish. I don't know if it was a little over or a little under, but I had $5,000 stolen from me. And unfortunately, the site wouldn't do anything about it. Poker has always been kind of like not unregulated necessarily, but kind of unregulated. It's kind of like the Wild West. And they said, we don't have any evidence that like it wasn't you that made this withdrawal, or I don't know, whatever bullshit they said. I was just a little kid and didn't really understand, but like my money was gone. And, obviously at the time I was living with my parents. I had KFC money. It wasn't like like my life was over, or like I couldn't pay my bills or anything because I didn't have that 5,000. But you can imagine how devastating that was. And it absolutely crushed me. I was like 18 and a month years old. And that happened, and it was really devastating. I still remember, I still have the voicemail, and it's a really touching story. Probably my best friend at the time, and someone that's probably like a top 3 most important person in my life in history, I would say. Probably around top 3. He called me after he heard about it, and I just remember, because I was in bed crying. I mean, of course, what else would you do, right? I mean, I'm not ashamed to say that. I was in bed crying, and I just remember getting a phone call, and I didn't answer it because I was upset. But I listened to the message, and I've saved the message for all these years, and it was my friend, and he was just like, hey, like, I heard what happened, and like, I'm so sorry that happened to you. And I just remember he made like a comment like, hey, dude, like, I know it really sucks, and like, I'm so sorry, but like, just don't do anything stupid, okay? Like, because yeah, like, I was very distraught over it. Like, that for a kid, especially, like, that was a lot of money. And so I always found it touching. Like, I would never self-harm, just full disclosure. But like it was always really touching that like he cared about me to that extent, not to just call and leave a message and say, hey, dude, I hope you're okay, but to like really, really try to, to make sure I didn't do anything that that I'd regret, or like, anything like that. So, very, very touching. And I still, like I said, I still have that voicemail saved. And I have a few voicemails from over the years that are saved. Some from my grandma, who's now passed on, and that one from him, and some others. But yeah, that was always like a really touching moment for me. And as you can see, I mean, I persevered through it. I continued my poker career. I didn't let that setback get me down. I had many years of successful online poker. I've won multiple tournaments in Las Vegas. And I got to play my first World Series of Poker event this year, which was quite the honor. And poker will always be a part of my life as well. And I don't know what kind of success I know I'll never do it full time again. But I've always dabbled in it. I did some poker streams back in the day, and I could potentially do them again. You never know, and maybe it's a cool thing to watch. I'm not sure, but yeah, I don't know. It's just it's another thing. It's just another big part of me, and I'm really happy for the poker journey I got to have, and more what's to come. And I don't know. I love cards, and I love card games, and I love all the things that go into poker, like math and probability and statistics, and I love gambling, obviously, and I like competitions. And poker is the ultimate competition that you can crush people's souls, and so I enjoy it for the competitive aspect, the numbers aspect, the math aspect, and everything in between. It's just it's a big part of my life, and I think it always will be. And I think that is pretty much my entire poker journey. So yeah, wow, that was a lot. That was a lot of stuff to say about poker. All right, well, let's get into some questions now. So we'll just jump right in. I was gonna talk about the questions, but what if I just read the questions and then I answer them? Whoa. Wouldn't that be crazy? Raichu, you're such a genius. How did you come up with such a good idea for your podcast to actually just talk about what's being asked? Well, I'm just I'm just a pretty smart guy, So anyway, question number 1 is from Sully. Hi, Sully. The question is, new resolution for 2025. Well, it's a kind of a two-parter question. New resolution for 2025, and how does the community change your daily routine if it does? All right, so we'll let's kick it off with part 2 of your question. It feels a little bit like the more optimal choice to start with, because it's like asking, the other one's like a resolution, so you should end with that, I feel like. So anyway, how does the community change your daily routine if it does? So for me, I mean, it's kind of hard to say that it has any change on my routine, because it's been such a part of my routine now for over 4 years. I mean, we've had this Discord for 4.5 years now. I've been streaming regularly every week, twice a week for 4.5 years now. So it hasn't really changed. Like this year in particular hasn't been any different than like last year, for example. But I mean, I guess the main thing it would change is just, having, I don't know, overseeing, you get up. That's the first Discord that I check is my own. Make sure that everything's okay. See if anyone, what people are saying, if there's anything that, needs to be looked at, or anything that I want to check on, etc. And I mean, I guess it's kind of, it is a difficult question. I mean, there's so many aspects to the community. So, I mean, it's like the matter of, I want to make sure we have events scheduled. So sometimes it'll just pop into my little brain. I'll be like, we haven't had a community event in a while. Let's see if we can schedule something. So then I go in there we have a group, one of the channels in the Discord for like the game night organizers. And I say, yo, you guys want to schedule something? You down to schedule something? And then they say, yo. And then we talk about what we might want to schedule, and then we do something. Or sometimes people just do it on their own. But yeah, so I guess, the community aspect is like wanting to make sure there's cool events for people. So that's definitely one thing. So I, make sure to keep an eye on that. Other community aspects, I mean, sometimes there's like little projects, like I might be doing community facts when I open community facts a couple times a year, so that people can add their facts about themselves to put in the community facts spot. That's one good example of like a little quote unquote project I do sometime. Now, with the podcast going every week, I make 2 weekly posts in the podcasting channel, which is one to let the people know on Mondays that the form is open and they can submit their questions, and then one on Sunday when the episode is uploaded. So I do that every single week. Other community aspects, I mean, now I upload a YouTube video every day, so I have to make sure that video goes up for the community. So there's that, and then I mean, there's streams, there's thinking about streams, there's making the stream schedule and making sure I post it in the Discord, usually on Mondays, so that they have it, and there's the YouTube videos, like I said, that's every day. The stream schedule, there's the actual streams itself, so thinking of ideas for what I might like to stream, and obviously, like I said, creating the stream schedule, and then having having the stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I don't know. There's a lot of little aspects, I guess, that change my daily routine. I'm very, as I always talk about, I'm very routine oriented in life in general. So it's not really changing my routine. It's just locking in a routine. And like I said, I'm very organized and I'm very locked in with my routine. I do those podcasting posts on Sundays and Mondays. I do obviously the stream posts on Tuesdays and Thursdays. My schedule goes up on Mondays. Every day I try to upload my YouTube video around 11 a.m. So that happens. I guess, yeah. So I guess it's just, for me, it's just a matter of routine. And my routine hasn't changed a whole lot over the last few years, but I guess it has this year because we have the podcast now. So it means that I have those Mondays and Sundays posts that I never had before, as well as the YouTube videos uploading every single day. It means that I have to be on it every single day to make sure that my video goes up because that's what I committed to. And, you know, a lot of people, there's very few people that even watch the YouTube videos, but I made that my resolution to post a video every day because I think it's important and I think it's nice. So I've been doing it, and it's okay if it only gets a couple views because maybe someone out there enjoys it. So I'm happy that someone might enjoy it. So yeah, I guess I hope that answers your question about that, Sully. If not, my apologies, but I think it probably answers it okay, kind of. Next question. New resolutions for 2025. So yeah, so like a New Year's resolution. That's a wonderful question, and I think the real resolution is it's not. I don't have anything drastic. I just it might be bad, I guess. But my main resolution is just keep doing what I'm doing because I have a lot going on. I can't. Some people are like, I want to like do this. Like some people maybe they might want to like get in better get in better health, or like they might want to like work on more stuff. Well, like my health is good. Like my hands are as full as they can possibly be with projects and stuff. So it's not like I need to be more productive. I don't think I am literally capable of being any more productive. So I don't think I have like those standard kind of things that many people have, and I'm not like trying to be like I'm already so perfect like, I don't need to change anything. But I guess those like kind of traditional New Year's resolutions, I don't really have something for them. What I want to keep doing, my resolution is to continue to have an entertaining stream and a welcoming community where fosters good vibes. I want to continue to, like I said, on the stream side, I want to play more cool games in 2025 and get to explore some more stuff that we haven't before because there's just so much I want to play and stream. My resolution as well is to continue to upload, I hope, even better podcast episodes with doing it bi-weekly. Hopefully that enables me to not get burned out, and it enables me to have a little more time to plan and a little more time for you guys to ask good questions for me to answer. And it also offers me the ability to have a little more time to also work with people to collab, get people on the show, and hopefully have some cool people to collab with as well. So I think the podcast will greatly benefit from that in 2025. My resolution as well, continue to post a YouTube video every single day in 2025. So that would mean that next year we'll upload 365 videos minimum. Maybe more, because sometimes I upload little one-offs that don't count for my daily videos. So maybe, I don't know, we'll estimate 375 videos next year, maybe. I don't know, 380, 400, I don't know. So we'll continue to do that. Continue to make sure Jax is in great health. He'll be hitting 10 years old in 2025. So I want to make sure my pupper is continuing to feel good, healthy, get him lots of exercise as always, make sure he's doing good, and just make sure he's well taken care of. Continue. It sounds really bad because I'm just going to be like, oh, I'm going to keep doing things that I'm already doing. But like, I'm pretty locked in right now. And sometimes people like they might like end the year feeling like oh, I should have done these things better. Like yeah, like probably like 6 months ago there was things I could have done better, but like I'm pretty darn locked in right now. So I just kind of like if I keep up what I'm doing a lot of good things, and I'm proud of myself for that. So yeah, I mean, continue to prioritize family as always. It's going to be a little bit harder next year just because my other thing I want to do is go to more conventions and maybe even travel a little bit more, which that also is the challenge with Jax because I don't like to leave him for too long. So there's those challenges, but I mean, that's another thing I would like to do. I don't think it's like an urgent thing. Like if I don't do it next year, it'll never happen. So it's not my highest priority. It can't be my highest priority, but it is something that I hope to accomplish. I mean, I already registered for AC. I've never been to AC Anthrocon before, so I registered for that, and I hope to attend. Nothing's confirmed, but like I hope to do that. I've talked a lot about hoping to go to EF, which is in Germany, so I'd be like in a whole other country. Whoa. So yeah, I think like those are a couple of things. Like those are a couple cons, and maybe some other cons as well if I'm lucky. So like, yeah, I think traveling more will be nice. And yeah, I always like to travel and get around. So it's just a matter of money and time and making sure Jax has someone to care for him and just not leaving him in general for too long because I'm very, and it's kind of unfortunate because I really do want to do a lot of that travel stuff, but I'm also very conscious of the fact that he's a big dog and he's going to be hitting 10 years old. And, just to be realistic, you never really know how long your pet has left when they get up to those older years. And I know he probably, hopefully has, a few more good years, but I also have to be realistic in the fact that you never know. And so I have to, he has to be my first priority. Myself and him have to be my two first priorities, obviously, like in terms of taking care of ourselves. So those are my top two priorities. So I have to make sure he's my priority over any travel that I want to do. So yeah, so I guess that's where there's some challenges, but I guess I kind of ranked my priorities in order of priorityness. Kind of, I don't know, sorta, but yeah, I don't know. I just want to keep on doing my best. I'm on a real, almost like unsustainably productive. I mean, I think it's pretty sustainable, but like a very high level productivity right now. My productivity's high. I think my sociability is still on a good level. Like productivity super high, sociability on a real good level. My job's going well. I got my promotion this year. I might have another one coming next year. I mean, my bonds with my family are solid as hell. Like everything is going pretty well. I mean, there's it's been a shitty year in a lot of ways, and there's a lot of things I could complain about. But right now, I mean, I'm kind of locked in, and I mean, there's still daily struggles and stuff, but like overall, feeling good, feeling confident, and so my 2025 resolution is let's keep kicking butt. Let's not let ourselves get too comfortable. Because that can be a problem, right? When you get too comfortable and you just think like, it's just easy street. I'm doing too good. That can be when bad things happen. So I'm going to try to not just chill and get comfortable. I'm going to try to continue to be locked in, continue to be my best self. And hopefully you guys will continue to want to be around me. And I will continue to do my best. And together we'll hopefully, be happy that we're surrounded by each other. So yeah, thank you for the question, Sully. I hope I answered it. I know it wasn't a very interesting answer, but just keep doing my best. Alrighty, next question. Can we rye your chew? I'm sorry, I don't know what that means. Can we rye your chew? Winky face. I'm trying to think if this is a pun. Their name that they put is Kuda Gitsune. Kuda Gitsune. I don't know who that is. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get your name joke. I'm sorry to say. I wish I did. Can you rye my chew? Maybe, but I don't know who you are. Because I don't know what a Kuda Gitsune is. Sounds like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not even going to speculate, but thank you for I use this term very loosely. Thank you for the air quotes question. I appreciate it. Alrighty. So, next question. Back on a little more serious note. How do you shake off the feeling of being defeated after being unable to fix what you've messed up? I Okay, so I mean it's a fair question, and the first thing I want to say is when you mess up somewhere, right, on anything, whether it be something at work or something in your personal life, you screw up, you I don't know, you break something in your house, whatever it may be, like you yell at someone that you shouldn't have, like I don't know, whatever. There's a bajillion ways you can mess up, right? Obviously, so the first step I would advise taking is, as always, with any kind of like, it's such a common piece of advice from me because people act rashly, right? They don't take a moment when they should take a moment to kind of think about it and analyze the situation. So first step definitely is take a step back and, you know, assess the situation. What are the consequences of my actions, and like, is it really as bad as I think it is? Because I can say I've done this many times, and I'll bet you many people here who are listening and not listening have probably had moments where they felt like, oh, this thing happened and it's the end of the world, whatever it may be. Like, I can say, like, I've had times when, like, maybe I said something to someone and it came off wrong, and I thought, like, oh my God, I just catapulted a friendship and now they probably hate me forever. And well, we're screwed. Like, they hate me forever. Like, okie dokie. So, and mind you, that was not true at all. It was just me being dramatic and thinking I was defeated when I wasn't. Same thing. I mean, I've had things where, like, I messed something up at work, or I've had that happen. I've, like, had fights with people, like, not physical fights, but like arguments with people where I just said, like, yeah, man, like, that was really bad. Like, I hope, like, or like, this is probably irreparable, and it was repairable. I mean, so I think that's the first key, is to take a step back. And I'm rereading the question, and it says, how do you shake off the feeling of being defeated after being unable to fix what you've messed up? So, I mean, I guess fully reading the question, like, if you've tried to fix it, and I guess, I guess this question is more asking, like, it's already been confirmed that it cannot be fixed, and so how do you recover after the situation has already been determined that it can't be fixed? So to answer that, I guess, is a little bit different, but I guess the first thing to I guess assess again and say, like, okay, so what are the ramifications of this? Like, really give it a good thought of what the ramifications are of your mess up, right? And give it some good thought, and don't it still might not be as bad as you think, but I mean, really, all you can do is accept the fact that we all mess up, we all make mistakes, and some mistakes are bigger than others. And sometimes, like, I mean, sure, sometimes, like, a mistake can be so big, like, you do something really, really bad at work and you cost the company, like, millions of dollars. They're probably not going to be like, oh, you're human, you make mistakes, you're probably going to get fired, right? But, like, people at least people should, and they don't always, but it's very important to realize people are human. And sometimes you have a bad day and you act out of character. Sometimes you might do or say something that you wouldn't do. And people are understanding of that. Like, I spent my life in, like, management roles and like just in general, kind of like being the leader of groups. And, like, so I'm well aware of the fact that people aren't perfect. And sometimes someone might let you down, whether that be, like, in a way, like, at a work, or they just let you down, like, they're not there for you and you need them to be, or they say something stupid to you, whatever it may be. People make mistakes. People will sometimes screw up, and I am no exception. I have screwed up. I have said things I shouldn't have. I've done things I shouldn't have. I've made mistakes at work. I've made mistakes in my personal life. It happens. It really does. And I'm very thankful that, for the most part, most of those mistakes I've made, people were understanding that no one's perfect. And sometimes, not all. There have been times when my mistakes were irreparable, and you messed up, and so yeah, you've have the feeling of being defeated. So I guess how to get over that. I mean, the best way is to, with time, and it's not always going to be instant. It might take you some time to get over that feeling, but you have to be fair to yourself. And that's another thing that people do far too often is people are extremely, extremely harsh critics on themselves. You know, everyone, and I can say there are so many people in our community who are so harsh on themselves, who are actually like none of the bad things that they think they are. But people are just inherently harsh on themselves. I'm harsh on myself sometimes, even, and like you guys have even seen it sometimes. So like we're all harsh on ourselves. So admit to yourself, step one, admit to yourself that it's okay to not be perfect. Now, if you're like messing up like a trillion times, okay, now you might need to have like a bigger look at yourself. But like you messed up something because of a little, you know, something you did or a couple things, whatever it may be. Like, admit like that it's okay that you messed up and figure out how you can do better going forward. That's one thing for me that's the key, is like that feels better, that can kind of give you like a positive spin on like, you messed up, okay, so what can I do to get something positive out of it? Well, I'm going to think about how I can do better in the future. So let's say I messed up at work because I was doing a task too quickly and I wasn't really focused because I was, I don't know, watching a stream on the side or something. You know, I'm just an example. Never happened to me, guys. It's never happened to me. I'm just using an example. But like, let's just say something like that happened, okay? So what was the cause of it? The cause of my mistake was because I was letting myself get distracted. And so now let's think about this. So now moving forward, when I work on this report that I screwed up and made me look bad at work, I'm going to not be watching Twitch while I do it. And I'm going to focus in, lock in, and get the work done the right way, because I know I can do it. I've done it right every other time. And that's sometimes the thing, right? Like, you'll do the same thing 100 times, and then you'll mess up once, and you'll think, oh, well, I screwed up, so I'm the worst. Like, you're not the worst because you screwed up once. You still did it right 100 other times. So figure out why you did it right all those other times and emulate that. It's okay to make a mistake one time. Let's say you had a bad day and someone usually you treat them really nicely, and you had a bad day and you just like snapped at someone. I've had that before. Like, just this year, I had a bad fight with my mom, where like I am usually the nicest, soft-spoken person, and like talking to my parents, like I would never ever yell at them, but like my mom was like acting out. I mean, in my opinion, acting out. And she was saying some things that I felt were personal attacks on me and were hurtful and were unjustified, and I didn't need to hear. And so I snapped hardcore on her, and I was like yelling at her, and I have never ever done that in my life. So I messed up. I mean, it hurt her. It bothered her. Now, mind you, I hope that she, and I think that she also reflected that she made a mistake, because she did. And, you know, some of the things she said, she understood from my perspective, like it wasn't right that she was doing that. And that's why I snapped, because she was personally attacking me when we were having a discussion, and she was using personal attacks on me to like not exactly this, but like think of like you're having a politics discussion, and then the person like says like, oh, well, you know, like, I don't know. And then they make the attack about you personally when you're trying to have like a discussion about something that's like not about you personally. So anyway, I don't know how to describe it. I won't go into the details of the argument, but like, yeah, I messed up. Okay. And she messed up too. So we both were able to look at what happened. So like I snapped at her. So next time I will do what I do 99.999% of the time, and I will remain calm, even if someone's upsetting me or someone's like attacking me personally, because I've been attacked plenty of times in my life, and I usually don't snap like that. So what do I need to do next time? Well, I need to remember to keep my cool. And like I said, basically every other time in my life, I've remained cool when that kind of situation has occurred. That was the one time I didn't. So it's okay that I messed up that one time. I talked about it afterwards with my mother. We had a discussion. We both forgave each other for the mistakes we both made. And we understood that, yeah, it doesn't happen. It's not like something that's happening all the time. It was a mistake. And I'm entitled. No one is perfect. That is the key. No one is perfect. Imagine how boring life would be if we were all just perfect beings. Like, I talk about it all the time, but I love the fact that people aren't perfect. We're all we're all just out here doing our best, and we're all human, and sometimes we mess up. And that's why I never hold grudges against anyone for messing up, because yeah, we mess up and we do stupid things, and it sucks. I've done stupid things too, and I hope that if I ever wronged anyone in our community, or in the future, if I ever wrong anyone in our community, we can have a talk about it, and I can figure out what I did wrong. And I am very open to criticism, and that's one of my strengths. I feel like I'm confident, but I'm also fairly receptive to criticism, and I want to be better. I always want to be better, and every minute, every hour, every day, I strive to be a better version of myself. So I think that's really important. So how to shake off that feeling? Take something positive out of the negative situation. You messed up. Well, what positive can you get out of it? Maybe a possible way to do better in the future, and how you can better yourself. Learn something from the experience, because if you didn't get anything from the F up, then you didn't get anything out of it, and it was just an F up that accomplished nothing. So try to get something out of it. Hey, I did this. In the future, I'm going to try to learn from it, and I'm going to do this instead. When inevitably that this kind of situation might happen to me again. Like, I know there might be a time when my mom says some off the cuff shit to me and makes me really angry, but I'm confident that I will be prepared next time that happens, and I will handle the situation better. And it's like, yeah, so it's just kind of learning and trusting yourself to learn from the mistakes you made and doing better. And that's the way I get over it, because it's easy to feel defeated, but basically time is number one. You won't, no matter what, even if you immediately realize what you did wrong, you're not going to get over it right away. So give yourself some time, and also give yourself something positive out of it. Hey, I can do this better next time. Here's what I'm going to do. Make yourself a plan and stick to it. And then praise yourself. Next time you have a situation like that, be proud of yourself, because I know since then I've had times when I've been verbally abused by people, and I've stayed very calm. And I've recognized myself at those times and said, wow, I'm proud of myself. Like, I was able to remain calm during that, because that's me. Like, that, I know at my core, that's me. Like, I'm the calm person, and I can remain calm well under stressful situations. So I know that's me, and I don't let that one mess up take away from what I know is me. So don't let a screw up get you down forever. Don't let that define you. Instead, let it empower you to just kind of continue to do better. And that's a good kind of life advice in general, is try to always be better. Learn. And if something goes wrong, even if something goes slightly wrong, learn and like better yourself, because it's really, really important. If you're staying stagnant, I don't think that's healthy, to just stay stagnant and never get better. So keep trying to get better. There's always areas we can all improve on. No matter how amazing you think someone is, they can always be improved upon and do better. And no matter how amazing you think you yourself are, you can always improve and do better. So you have to work on it. And it won't just happen naturally. You have to put in some work, some reflection, some insight. And it's not always comfortable. It's not comfortable for me to say, dang, I really messed up. How can I do better? It's not comfortable to admit you screwed up. It really is not. It's super uncomfortable. But you have to be uncomfortable sometimes. That is life. I mean, life is a series of uncomfortable events. It's like that Lemony Snicket, the series of unfortunate events. I think life is a series of uncomfortable events, which might be the title of this episode, maybe. So yeah, life, a series of uncomfortable events. But yeah, there's going to be uncomfortable moments, so embrace those and do better. That's all you can do. Do better. That's it. We all constantly have to keep trying to do better. I know I'll do my part, and I hope those of you who are listening will also do your part to continue to be better. You can be really great, but doesn't mean that you can't keep getting better. So keep on getting better with me, and I look forward to continuing to see the best versions of all of you amazing, amazing, amazing people out there. Alrighty, next question from a legend. His name needs no introduction, literally. Chili Max! All right, Chili Max, what have you got for me? This is a nice one. All right, this says from Chili Max. It doesn't say from Chili Max, but it does say in the field where you put your username, it says Chili Max. So, any hoodles. Chili Max says, toward the end of the year, I like to record a small message that my future self will listen to at the end of the following year. You know, that's smart. I think Toshabi does that or did that. I don't know if he still does, but he did do that for a while. And it's smart. That's a good idea. I wonder if I should do that. That's a good idea. So I wanted to play around with this idea by giving you 2 prompts. Oh, and then I could listen to it next year? Chili Mex, you are a freaking genius, brother. You are a freaking genius. So I'm doing it right now then. I am doing it right now. All right, so it says, what is something you wish you could tell your 2023 self? And what is something you'd like to leave for your 2025 self to listen to? Okay, so really cool. And also, I love that you did the correct order of the 2. So, because that's the order I was going to read them in. So I'm going to have a quick sippy of water because I've been talking for a little bit. So I'm going to have a quick sippy and then I'm going to get to that. Sorry, you have to listen to me sip. It's good to stay hydrated. It really is important. It really is one of the secrets to feeling good, and I feel dang good. Alrighty. So, prompt number 1. What is something you wish you could tell to your 2023 self? And I think there's a lot. I mean, I think most everyone knows what a horrible year this has been for me and what a life-changing year in a bad way this has been for me in many, in a lot of ways. But, so I think what to tell 2023 self is a wonderful question. And what I would say is, number 1, don't get too complacent. Don't let yourself grow too stagnant. And, you know, I did grow a little stagnant. You know, this year we were able to do a lot. I got the new YouTube series up and running. I got the podcast up and running. So I feel like I accomplished a lot this year. But in 2023, I mean, I guess I didn't really... So, you know, it sucks because I'm tempted to, like, defend myself like, well, right, you in 2023, you just moved because you moved in December of 2022 to a new state. You did all this stuff, so you deserve to have a year where you were kind of stagnant. But I think growing stagnant in that year was something that hurt me a lot, and just kind of not having enough things to look forward to. I kind of let myself grow kind of bitter, or I'm not sure if bitter is the right word. Just kind of not fully myself. By the end of 2023, I didn't see it at the time, but I was struggling a lot. And yeah, so I think that would be the good advice. Like, don't grow stagnant. Like, keep yourself trying new things. Like, I've tried a lot of new things even this year. I started messing around with like with what's the friggin' program called? Clip Studio Paint. Like, with music, you guys have seen. I've got the YouTube series. I've got the podcast. In 2023, I didn't have any of that. I literally had none of that. I did my streams and stuff. That was cool. I mean, I always love doing that. But other than that, what can I say I really accomplished? I mean, not a lot. I was pretty stagnant, and that's not a good thing. So what I would tell my 2023 self, don't get complacent. Don't let yourself get stagnant. Try new things. And the success I've had trying new things this year and how positively it's affected me, is a really clear indicator. Like, right now at the end of 2024, with how horrible of a year it's been, I should really be in a much worse place than I am, like mentally and emotionally and everything. But I'm actually like, I have way overachieved the amount of goodness I should be feeling right now. You know, compared to if you asked me 6 months ago how I'd be feeling in December, I would have said horrible, terrible. So I am like over the moon proud of myself for not being stagnant, learning all those things, and through learning and doing those things, meeting new people, forming new bonds with people, like really good bonds with people, and just kind of benefiting from that lack of stagnantness. Is stagnantness a word? From not being stagnant, I've gained so much, and it's really just benefited my overall mood so much. And I let myself get stagnant in 2023 because I was tired. To be honest with you, I was just tired. 2022 was so much work. Like, I had, moved to a new state. Like, all my stuff, it was tons of work. Just adopted a dog. Like, it was a supremely tiring year, especially like the end of 2022, right? So by 2023, I was just toast. I was like, I'm tired. I don't want to do a lot. I'm just, So, like, I didn't feel the need to push myself because I was like, oh, I've already done so much, which in my defense, again, like that's true. I did do a lot, but still, like, for my own well-being, I should have been pushing myself to try new things and meet new people and do more things rather than staying stagnant. Whereas in 2024, I can say I met some of the most important people in my life. I grew bonds with some other of the most important people in my life. Like you meet new people that come into your life and that, become a very important part of your life very quickly. And then you also expand the bond with people who are already an important part of your life, and like they move, like you get closer to them as well. And I think that's just like a beautiful thing. Like in those areas, like from a social perspective, it's super important. And I'm very, very fortunate that I was able to accomplish that from again, trying new things, going out and trying to meet new people and, taking risks and just kind of doing my best. So take risks, don't remain stagnant. Let yourself try new things and let yourself meet new people. You don't have to you did a lot, but don't get complacent just because you did a lot. There's still a lot more to do. And I am very thankful now that knowing that I'm going into 2025 with that attitude. And I am so unbelievable, because when I ended 2023, I didn't have any thoughts or hopes or plans for 2024. But I can say going into 2025, I really, really, really feel like it's going to be one of the best years of my life. That's truly my belief. And I'm going to do everything I can to make it so, because I had probably... it's hard to call 20. It's like, it sucks because I'm like ending 2024 on such a good note. It's hard for me to like say, oh, it was like the worst year of my life, because it was a really, really horrible year. But like the last at least couple months, maybe like 3-ish months, I've been like really crushing it. So like how I feel right now, it doesn't feel like a bad year. But let's be honest, overall, it's been a really bad year and arguably the worst of my life. But like we've turned it around these last couple months, and we're like really heading into 2025 with optimism, excitement, a lot of good vibes, and a lot of hope for what's to come. So yeah, I hope that answered the question, Chili Mex, what I would tell my 2023 self, because I think that's about it. Don't remain stagnant. Push yourself. And what is something you'd like to leave for your 2025 self to listen to? Oh, that is a great one. That's a great one. I think I set high expectations for myself all the time. I always do. It's just my nature. You guys see me like pack my schedule full of stuff. Like almost like most weeks, almost every minute has something in it, right? So I push myself very, very hard. And so I want to say to my 2025 self, it's okay if you don't accomplish every single thing that you want to. It's okay if you're not productive 100% of the time, because that was another problem I've had in my life a lot, is just kind of like a, for lack of a better way to put it, like a workaholic nature, like doing too much. When I need to be able to just relax sometimes, let myself have some time to socialize, to spend with friends. Like people are like always, and I hope that, especially like some of the people listening or the people that are close to me, the people that know me really well, like, I think people know that, like, I'm a people person, and, like, hold on, Jax is here, and Jax is rolling around. He's so cute. But yeah, like, I hope people know that, like, my primary, focus in life is, like, people. And so I should be able to... Hold on, I'm gonna pause real quick on that thought with Jax rolling around. Okay, sorry, yeah. So... Anyway, it was funny because, yeah, so as many of you guys know, I usually close my door when I'm on a call or like at a game night or like on a call with friends, because Jax, if he hears me making noise or talking, he gets curious, right? He's like, he doesn't know that I'm talking to my friends on the computer. He's just like, yo, you making noise? Who you talking to? Huh? Can I come to the party? Who you hanging out with? And then I'm just like, brother, I'm talking on the computer. Please go away. So I didn't close the door, because usually I don't during the podcast, because I'm just talking at like a low, calm level. But then I think he heard me go, Chili Max, because he came up like right after. So moral of the story, never say Chili Max, because Jax will come and attack me. So anyway, let's get back to the question. So yeah, so 2025 me. What I was talking about before I got interrupted by Jax was, yeah, I mean, for me, people are everything to me, and friends, family, loved ones are absolutely everything. Like, the like they are the backbone to my success in life. I am a people person through and through. You guys know I'm an extrovert. I'm a people person. Like, I need to be around people, and I need to have those bonds. I need to be able to have, nice moments, whether it be like hanging out with people in VR chat, or like on a stream, or like just having a nice heartfelt conversation, like whatever it may be. All those different game nights in our server, like, I need to have those kind of moments. Like, it fuels me, and without it, I am not myself, and I am seriously, like, it can put me in a bad headspace if I'm not having those things. So they're really important to my life. I'm at the end of the day, I'm just a people person, and so I need to be around people. And the thing is, inherently, spending time with your loved ones, your dear friends, like pets, like Jax, like, for example, like those things they're not inherently productive, right? And so it can be a challenge for me as like a hyper productive person. Like, I'm doing something that is not actually technically accomplishing something, like a project or something. It's like, but I need to be able to balance better the productivity versus also just caring for myself. And for me, self-care is like talking to the people I love the most. So that's my self-care, and so I need to give myself that self-care, like talking or playing games or whatever it may be with people I really, 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 really care about. I need to give myself that time. So, on that note, again, what would I tell myself for 2025 self is be nice to yourself in that regard. Like, let yourself have some time. Like, like, you don't have to feel like it's the end of the world. You spend a few hours talking to a friend or something, like, that's time well spent. Like, those bonds that you form are important, and they're, sure, you're not quote unquote accomplishing something or being quote unquote productive, but you're still accomplishing something in the sense that you're strengthening your bonds with people, and you're a people person. So it's okay that you didn't, you spent a few hours. Oh, you could have been doing something productive. It's okay to take a few hours just for yourself. And I've been really good about that, like on Saturdays this year, because like every other day is filled up. So I've been giving myself Saturdays, but as of late, I've been trying to give myself even just a little more, time in the evening, or like a little time here and there, just to like chat with people, or like spend time doing stuff that like it's okay. Like, it really is okay. And so I would remind myself in 2025, Raichu, if you didn't like accomplish quote unquote, or like be as productive as you wanted, hopefully you at least were able to build those bonds with people, and form close bonds, and have good chats, and just kind of grow that bond. Because again, at the end of the day, like, for me, that's the most powerful thing. Having like a really good, powerful connection with someone that's like a very important part of your life, like, that is a bajillion times more important than like, oh, I didn't like, record videos when I needed to. Like, yeah, that's important also, obviously. Like, it's a priority of mine to make sure a video's up every day, but like, you don't have to be on your A game every time. Sometimes it's okay to just treat yourself to a little freaking chat with your friends, or like a game with your friends, or whatever. That's okay. And like, I've been trying to do that lately, and it's been working out. I mean, I've had some really nice times, and I've been having like a lot like, despite other things in life being stressful, I've found giving myself those times has made the stressful stuff feel way, way less stressful, because I gave myself those times to just kind of unwind and be silly and just have fun. And I think that's so, so essential. And so 2025 me, make sure you're giving yourself those times, and don't feel bad if you did give yourself those times, because you should, and you deserve to spend time and form bonds, and just be around people that you love. You should, I mean, everyone should do that, right? But like, I need to be better at it. So I hope that I will continue to do that. 2025 me, do that. Do it. I hope that answered the question. Okay, Chili Max. I don't know if that's like a boring answer, but I guess, yeah, just don't kill yourself being like trying to be too productive. Let yourself enjoy people too, because That's my greatest joy. Some people have other things, right? Like some people, their resolution might be like, oh, I want to enjoy more games, which I do want to do that too. But like for me, my biggest enjoyment, when you combine games and people, that's like a double whammy. So that's even better. But like, just in general, like enjoying people, because I'm a people person. So like, like playing a game for an hour by myself, or like having an hour having like a heartfelt conversation with a friend. The heartfelt conversation is way, 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 way more valuable for me and my self-care than the game, for example. Now, that doesn't mean like a game with a friend. Sometimes that's even better. But like, I'm just saying, like, if we're comparing those, anyway, I don't know. Whatever your self-care is, very cool. But for me, that's the self-care I want to work on for myself and continue to give myself in 2025. So, right, you keep at it, because I'm doing a good job lately, and I want to keep on doing a good job. So I hope going into 2025, I will keep doing a good job. If not, I'm going to bat myself on the head, because I need to do good. Right, you do good. But I'll be nice to myself, because it's important to be nice to yourself. All right. So the last question of the form is from Ross Cool Cat, and it says, favorite genre of game. So I sort of talked about this before, I feel like. I think we talked about RPGs, but maybe I didn't talk about other genres too much. And I think, it's kind of a boring answer, but I'm a very well-rounded in terms of the games that I like. Like, many of my favorite games fall into all different categories. Like, my top 2 favorite games of all time, Chrono Trigger and Super Mario RPG, are RPGs. So, I mean, would it be a fair assessment that my favorite genre is RPGs? I mean, I guess I really like RPGs, but then, like, I'm known for being the platformer player. So, like, I don't know, like, I love platformers. Like, it kind of really depends on a mood, right? Like, RPGs, platformers, I love. I mean, I have played many, many shooters in my life. Like, does that mean I'm like that's like my favorite genre? I mean, I don't know. In terms of like hours of like a game played, like Counter-Strike still might be my number 1 of all time. So like, does that mean that shooters are my favorite genre? I don't know. Probably not. But like, from amount of time played, I mean, technically we could argue that. We've got those, and then like, I really love horror games, as you guys know. Like, I don't stream too many of them because I don't think I make a very entertaining horror streamer, although I've been trying to have a more positive outlook on myself in that regard. I think, as I talked to you guys about, I've been trying to say, well, you know what, right, you, even though you're not funny and like scared and screaming like those other guys, you can still put on a good horror stream too. So I've been trying to be more positive about that. So I mean, I don't know, like, I love all those genres. I mean, if you force me to choose my favorite, I mean, I guess I would boringly say RPGs, but like, really, platformers and RPGs, I guess, are my 2 favorites. I love platformers like Celeste. I still love playing Celeste to this day. We stream that, like Donkey Kong Country Trilogy is like among my top few favorite games. I mean, I could name like a trillion just like listing them off, but there's so many. So I mean, realistically, probably RPGs and platformers if you made me choose. But like I said, I am obsessed with horror games. I have a lot of hours in dang shooters. I mean, I have a lot of hours in MOBAs, League of Legends. What's up? So it's like, it's very hard to narrow it down for me anyway. I am, it's the boring answer, but I'm a well diversified gamer and I like a lot of different stuff. And so for me, I will give the win to RPGs. However, it's not a real confident answer, I'll say. Like, I could easily be persuaded to say platformers depending on my mood. And there is a mood for both, right? Like, from a pure, like, I just want to, like, try to, like, I just want to play a game and not think at all. Like, platformers are great for that. Like, I love them because I can just be a little dum-dum and just, play a game and jump around and be a silly little guy doing hops and Wee, here I go through the sky. So I love that about platformers. But if I want maybe something more an epic adventure, like, games like Chrono Trigger that like inspired my life, like just a really, really cool and epic adventure. That is something. If I'm in the mood, I would love to. I love those games. So again, for me anyway, I don't know if other people are the same. I think they are. It really just depends on my mood, and my mood sways. Right now, my instinct is RPGs, but like if I was gonna turn on a game right now, it'd probably be a platformer. So it's like I don't know, but if we go just by my top two favorite games of all time, well, even my top three, I think Paper Mario I have in my third spot. So like, are we gonna say that those are my? It's like, it's difficult. It's a difficult question, Ross. But I appreciate the question. I will say I like a wide variety of games, and when you have as many games as me, right? Because like I own a lot of video games, and I played a lot of video games in my life. When you've got that many, it's hard. It really is. It's extra hard. It's extra hard to choose. So I will lean RPG, but I can make the case for platformer. I don't think there's really a strong case to be made for anything else. Like I could say like horror games, but realistically, like, I mean, yeah, there's like of my top favorites, the only horror games that really fall into my like ultra upper echelon would be like Alone in the Dark stuff. Whereas like those other genres have kind of a more diverse portfolio in my upper echelon. Not that horror doesn't have a lot of games that I really, really admire and enjoy, but just maybe not in like the ultra upper echelon, like I could play these forever because I'm, obsessed with them type of games. But yeah, I hope that answered the question well for you, Ross. Maybe someone relates to me that it's not a very easy question. I don't know. Should it be an easy question? How about all you guys? Like if I asked you, Mr. or Mrs. or our non-binary pals, any of you listening, are you able to quickly and easily answer that question? Go ahead. Tell me what your favorite genre is. Type it in the podcast channel right now. Tell me how easy it was to determine, because I'm struggling, man. But yeah. Anyway, thank you, Ross. I appreciate it as always. And so yeah, that's all the questions we have for the week. So I just kind of thought I would go into a fun story and just have an opportunity to tell you guys a pretty funny, a little bit scary story. I guess it's not really funny at all, but it's a kind of a cool story from back when I was in college. And I was getting ready. It was over. I say Thanksgiving break. It really wasn't much of a break, but you get like a couple of days off for Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? Like in America, usually like for school, like sometimes we might even have classes up to Wednesday, but we'll have like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. So quote, I say break, but it's not much of a break. But let's call it a break. Call it a break. All right, it's a break. Any oodles. So for Thanksgiving break, I was going to be driving from Reno to see Toshabi in Southern California, and that drive, it was 8-ish hours. We'll call it 8 is the normal length. It might be a bit more, but let's just call it 8 because 8 is a wonderfully round number, and I like round numbers. They're so easy to look at. So anyway, we'll call it 8 hours. So it's about an 8-hour drive, long commute. So unfortunately, as professors tend to do, I had to frickin' take an exam that day, so I couldn't leave like early in the morning, or I couldn't leave like the night before like I wanted, so I had to wait, take this stupid exam, and then hit the road. So I woke up that day, I went and I took my stupid exam. I got back to my apartment, and I got in my car, and I was like, all right, time to lock in. Went to the next thing I did was I went to the gas station and put some gas in my car. And then what happened? I hear an announcement, I think on the radio or something, that this is like winterish time in Reno, and there's an announcement that a blizzard's coming, and so hey, blizzard coming, FY, like a big storm's coming, so act accordingly. So I had a choice to make. I had the choice of either attempt to leave Reno toward Los Angeles. And Reno, the way you leave Reno is a mountain town, essentially. And so you go through like a little mountainish pass kind of way to get out of Reno and on to your journey. So I had two choices. I could A, hurry because a blizzard's coming, right? So my options are A. I mean, I guess I have multiple options, but my options are A, hurry. B, I mean, I guess B is like don't go. Or C, get tire chains. So for those of you who don't know or have never driven in snow, generally when snow reaches a certain level, you're required to have tire chains. And what tire chains are is essentially they give traction to your car so that you're driving in the snow and like you're not gonna like spin out of you're not gonna spin out or something. So I went with option A. I said, well, the storm's coming, but I can get up the mountain in less than an hour, get through the pass, and if I make it through that, then I'm home free, like I'm good. So I said, all right, let's get going. So I hauled butt. I drove and drove and drove. So here I go. I'm going up the mountain. It's kind of up. I say up. It's not. I don't know. Up might be a little disingenuous, but it's kind of up. I guess. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going on the mountain and I'm heading up, and I'm like 45 minutes in right now, going okay, I guess, driving, but the snow's coming, and wouldn't you know it, I reach basically the mountain pass that I need to get through, and it says tire chains required at that point. Like, you cannot pass this place if you don't have tire chains. And guess what? I didn't have tire chains because I was going to try to beat it rather than try to go to a store, spend a bunch of money, get tire chains, and then definitely not beat it, right? So I took the gamble. I missed the gamble. And so I had to go get tire chains. So I head back down the mountain, another hour back down the mountain. So I'm 1 hour up the mountain. Now it's 1 hour back down the mountain into town because there's no tire chains on the mountain. You got to go to an auto store. So an hour back down the mountain, go to the auto store, get my chains. Okay, wonderful. Well, I'm already 2 hours in now, and I'm going to have another 8 hours to go because I'm still starting from scratch, a minimum of 8 hours. And so I drive back up the mountain, and I get there, and thankfully, I didn't know how to put tire chains on, to be honest with you. I had no freaking idea. So there's like a little area you could pull over, and then there's these people you could pay to put tire chains on, your chains on for you, which I just did that because I didn't know how to do it. And I wasn't going to try to screw around. I'm already like 3 hours into my freaking journey, and there's still like 8 hours to go, essentially. So like, someone else do it. Anyway, so I paid the person, and they put the tire chains on. Sweet. So now I'm like driving through the actual like mountainy part of the mountain with like a bunch of snow and a blizzard going, and I don't know how to drive in snow, dude. I'm from freaking California. So I'm driving. It is very, very scary, mind you. Extremely scary. At one point, I lost control of my car. Like I lost traction, I guess. Which the tire changer is supposed to help with, I guess, but I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I lost control of my car and like almost spun out. And let's just say it was very, very scary. So like I get through this, and like, mind you, I'm going slow as hell. Normally you'd be going like at a pretty fast pace on this road. So you have to go slow as hell. So I'm going super ultra slow, and it's very scary, and I'm trying not to die because I don't want to die. I remember like, I think I might have made a video because I had a camera at the time. I like had like a little video camera, like I made like YouTube videos, so I had like a little camera, and I just had it with me. I think I might have made a video. I'm having like a flashback. I might have made a video because like I was scared like I would die, and like I wanted someone to find the video and just like see it, right? So I think I made a video. I don't know if I did, but I remember making a video now. So maybe I made a video. But anyway, I made it off the mountain. I didn't die, thank God. And then I get off the mountain, right? And when you're like out of the snowy area, then you have to take off your tire chains, right? So I remember this freaking day so well. And by the way, that took like forever to get through the mountain, like multiple hours. So I'm only like an hour or a couple hours max into the drive. There's still like another 6 hours, and I'm already like 5-6 hours into the thing at least. And so anyway, I get off the mountain, and it's like, all right, I need to remove the tire chains now. But again, I don't know how to remove tire chains. I'm a California boy. So now I'm on the other side of the mountain. It's like, by this point, it's like 9 p.m. probably. It's like pitch dark outside. It's like, and I left during the day, by the way, like it was still plenty light out. So it's like 9 p.m. and super dark out. I'm in the middle of nowhere, essentially, like on the side of the road with no gloves, mind you. Like my hands are like, I remember my hands were so effing cold, and I was just like, am I gonna get like freaking frostbite on my hands because I don't have gloves and it's like 0 degrees out here and I'm out here doing this? I was so annoyed, and I just remember being on the side of the road, and that was like one of the most miserable moments of my life. And I remember being there just like, this fucking sucks. So anyway, eventually I got my tire chains off. I got them in the trunk, and then, or, whatever. And then I drove more, and mind you, the weather's still not great, so I'm not going like full speed. And anyway, that's the exciting part of the story. Unfortunately, the rest is pretty boring. I stopped at like a gas station and got some food and got some gas. And then I drove for another lot of hours. And then I remember very well, Toshabi and his brother were waiting up for me. It was like 3 frickin' a.m. at this point. They were glad that I lived. And I was like, what's up, bitches? It's 3 a.m. I've been driving for like 13 hours. And I'm tired as hell. But I survived. And then I went home, a few days later or whatever, back to Reno for school. And I survived that one too. So hooray, good job me for surviving. But it's always been like a funny, I don't know, it's not funny, it's kind of sad, but it was quite the journey. And I guess technically that's my longest drive, 13 hours. I don't know, I'm pretty powerful, but yeah, it was very scary. Do not recommend. Don't drive in snow, kids, if you can avoid it. Don't drive in snow unless you know how to drive in snow. If you don't know how to drive in snow, don't drive in snow. And that's my life advice for you, because otherwise you might have bad stuff happen to you. But yeah, that was a very, very frightening journey that I went on. Yeah, for you old school viewers, I mean, and new school, I had such a really awesome meal with Kawa today. I mentioned it in the stream, but like, for you old schoolers, you know who Kawa is. The new schoolers, Kawa is such a legend in the Raichu community, and like I talk about him fondly all the time because it's such a touching, like he's such a nice guy. Like he's been in the community for over 4 years now, 4 years and change. And this is a guy, when he joined my first stream, like we were kind of friends at that point. We talked somewhat. This was like this is like 4 years and change ago. We've been friends for like almost 5 years now, but so we were like kind of friends. But like he joined the stream, he literally one of the first thing he says is like, I haven't played a video game in 10 years, and literally he hadn't played a video game in like 10 years. He has since, by the way, just so you know, he has played a video game since, but he had no interest in video games. He made a Twitch account just to be able to talk on my stream. And he's a really nice guy, and he's, you'll see, you newer people, there's a Kawa command, and we always get excited when he says something in chat, because he's a shy introverted boy, and he doesn't play video games. So I guess that's like the extra touching thing, right? Like this is a guy who he doesn't, he's not necessarily comfortable socializing in the public environment. And he doesn't even like video games. He literally he's third all time in Raichu view time. He's third place in the history of Raichu view time. He has like 40-something thousand minutes. And so yeah, he's a very sweet guy. But anyway, we had a really nice ramen dinner, and it was really funny because like we had dinner at 5:00, right? And this place, like they're pretty quick. Like ramen in general is not like they're not cooking like a steak or something that's going to take a while, right? It's pretty quick. You get your food quickly. So like we got our food and we ate, and we were like taking our time eating. and it was like, I don't know, 5:40 or something. Like, so it was quick, right? We're done. We're like, dang. So like we're like, okay, well, let's just talk a little bit more outside. So we went outside, and I kid you not, like we were just having like a heart to heart, because we're longtime friends, but we're not, the friends you have that are, you have your long term, like you're close. I mean, he's a good friend of mine. You have your friends that like you talk to every day or most every day. And then you have your friends that you don't talk to all that often. So I was catching him up, and I was even like telling him stuff about the community, like, oh, we got these new, here's some like newer people we've got that are really cool. And like, here's what's going on with like the older people, like, what's going on in their lives. And it was really actually super fulfilling to just kind of like, it's kind of like when you catch up with your family and your mom is telling you about like, oh, like Aunt Sheila, like, did this or something. It felt like that, because I could be like, oh, like Leo finished his PhD and he's gonna be like moving to the United States maybe, and like like whatever, just like naming off people, and like, oh, here's what they're up to, and they're gonna maybe come to LVSC and like all this stuff. And it's just like, it was super fun to catch him up. But like we had such a really good heart to heart, and we were like, we somehow ended up, and I don't know how it always ends up, but like we ended up talking about a lot of topics that I've covered on the podcast. And I kept doing that thing which I do to people all the time, and I go like, oh, I talked about that on my podcast, but like we were talking about like a whole lot of things. But he was saying just like how, I mean, he's very introverted. He's probably, I would argue, more introverted than anyone else in our community, and we have some real introverts in our community. So he's quite introverted. And he was just like saying to me, like many people say to me, like how, oh, it's really easy to talk to you. Like normally, like I'm not very good at socializing, but it's so easy to talk to you, and I love that. And then like for me, I say it all the time, but like that's like the nicest thing anyone can say to me. And anytime someone tells me like, oh, you're really easy to talk to, is like the greatest compliment in the world. And I'm not really sure why exactly, but that one always just hits really good for me, and it really means a lot when someone tells me it. So yeah, we were having a nice conversation about that, and just life. And I mean, both of us have had a tough year and a lot of struggles, and we were just kind of sharing our outlooks. And I was talking to him about how I actually told him, because I recorded the first part of this podcast before I saw him, and I was like, oh yeah, I was talking in the podcast about like how I have no reason to be so like happy and like optimistic about what's to come, but I am. And we were just kind of talking, and yeah, so I said that, and he was worried for me, because he knows what a tough year I've had, and he was actually really, really pleasantly surprised. Like the look on his face when he was like, he said like, well, like, are you okay? And then I was like, yeah, I'm doing great. Like, here's all the things going on, and like there's these cool people I've like met, and like all these cool people that are been checking up on me, and like all this stuff, and blah blah blah, like all like a big diatribe about like all the good things. And he was just like, look on his face, he was like, oh, like I was expecting you to say like, no, you're not doing well. So like he was like very happily surprised, like, oh, well, that's awesome, like that's really relieving to hear, because I was expecting you to like, I wasn't even going to ask you, because I was expecting it to be bad. So like, wow. And so I was like, yeah, and I was just talking to him, and yeah, we were just talking about like outlooks on things, and like how I don't know, just like even talking about like we were talking about like I don't know, can I say this? I mean, I guess we can kind of say this, just like in general, like love and a whole lot of things, just like relationships, and just like how failed relationships, I was talking about how like they can be an opportunity to just kind of see like just to learn and to do all this stuff. I don't know, we were just having a lot of like discussions about life. And me, I'm kind of even an unhealthy optimist at times. Like even if I have no reason to be optimistic in certain areas, I just am. That's just me. And so he was very I mean, I guess impressed is the right word. That's the word he used. So he was really impressed with my outlook on stuff. And I don't know, it feels good. It feels good to be validated by someone that you respect a lot. And it always does. Like when there's people in your life that it hits really well when someone like says, I mean, I don't know, I'm like I said, I'm just a soft boy, so if you say something nice about me, I'm gonna be like ooh woo, and it makes me feel good no matter what. But it definitely hits really good when it's someone that you really really look up to and respect a lot as a person, and someone that is for all intents and purposes a really good person and a really successful person. And so to be able to like hear that, it was a really that's all I can kind of say is like it was in contention for like one of the best conversations I've had all year. And so anyway, yeah, like we would went outside at like 5:40, and at some point we were just standing there, just like heart to heart talking. And at some point I looked at my watch and I was like, "Oh shit, Kawa, it's 7:40. Like we've been out here like for 2 hours." So we ended up saying goodbye. And I needed to go home to walk Jax. And he needed to go back to his parents' house because he's visiting them. He's in town to see them this week. So we left, but yeah, it was such an incredibly fulfilling conversation, and like easily in contention for the conversation that has helped me the most this year. At least in terms of an in-person conversation, I've had some good ones online for sure with a lot of you. But in terms of an in-person conversation, I think it was the most productive conversation I've had this year, and it helped a lot. And I don't think Kyle will listen to the podcast, but I do need to message him and remind him how much I enjoyed that conversation. Because it's good to remind, or just, there's no harm in saying, hey, just wanted to let you know how much I really enjoyed that conversation with you today and getting to talk to you. There's no harm in that. Anyone would love to hear that. So I'm going to do that. I promise I'm going to do that. And I'm sure he'll be happy to hear. But yeah, it was a really great conversation. Plus, I got to have some really delicious ramen. And I like some ramen, especially on a nice little chilly, like December 20th day. Wow, December 20th. It's almost Christmas, guys. When you watch this, it's going to be like, well, I don't know. It could be no days. It could be any amount of days till Christmas. Who knows when you're going to watch this? But if you watch this when it releases, it'll be like a couple days to 3 days till Christmas, depending on your time zone, or 2 days till Christmas, depending on your time zone. So, whoa, can you believe that? I don't know. So that was good though, and yeah, he had some plans with people too. We were able to work it out because we've got the community event this weekend. We've got the my stream on Sunday, so there's a lot going on. So we were both very happy. He's only here for a few days and trying to get everything that he needs to done with his family, and like connecting with everyone and just kind of doing his thing there. So it was nice that it was able to work out, and we were able to have a really much longer. I mean, I was under the impression it was going to be like a quick meal, and we ate really quickly. And I was like, all righty, like, I guess, we'll chat for a few minutes and then go. And then we just had this really, really fulfilling conversation, which I think like fulfilling conversations that kind of come out of nowhere are really rewarding, because we were chatting and stuff like in the restaurant, but I wouldn't say it was anything like fulfilling to the point like of like therapeutic, like the conversation I had with Kawa. Like in the restaurant, we were just chatting about, we were just catching, like I was catching him up on stuff in the community, and like he was catching me up on his life, and we were just kind of chatting about Christmas and all this stuff. It was a wonderful conversation, but it wasn't on the therapeutic, really deep level that the outside conversation was. So yeah, that really hit extremely well, and it meant a lot. And so I'm really happy that it happened. And now we're just kind of finishing up the last few days until Christmas, and then I got to record a dang New Year's episode. Yeehaw! We love New Year's. I don't know why I said yeehaw. I guess cowboys like New Year's too. Everyone likes New Year's, but yeah, I'm gonna be traveling on Monday. Man, this is a busy few days, dude, because we're gonna be traveling on Monday, and then get back on Thursday, and then I have work on Friday. What the hell? Why do I have work on Friday? That's so stupid. So then I'll go to work on Friday, and then I'll record a podcast, I guess. Maybe I'll just record the podcast during work. I can't imagine anyone's going to be working on that Friday, like actually working. Like we're technically working, but who's actually going to do any work? Don't answer that. There better be no one to work. I'm gonna chill. Maybe I'll work on the podcast that day. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But Yeah, there's a lot going on. It's going to be a crazy end of the year, but I'm appreciative that everyone's here and kind of riding the wave with us as we close out the year. There's only like 11 days left in the year, as of this moment. But we've got depending on your time zone or when you see this, you know what I mean. Right now there's 11 days left, but when you see this, there will be less days left. So yeah, but yeah, I realized too that like by the time you watch this, there'll only be one stream left, which will be Monday the 30th. Yeah, Monday the 30th, because we've only got two more streams, which is Sunday the 22nd and Monday the 30th, and that's a wrap on our year, kids. Like that is it. That is a wrap. That is hang it up and go home and I don't know, drink some champagne. Is that what you do on New Year's Eve? You eat some uh, lobster. I don't know. That's what my parents always do on New Year's Eve. Like that's their treat. They eat lobster on New Year's Eve, which is sweet. Like they are very frugal. They don't really buy nice things for themselves like that, so they treat themselves to that on New Year's Eve. That's always been their thing. Do you guys have any New Year's traditions? I don't really. I feel like my New Year's changes like so often that I don't have any traditions. Like, it's like every other year is like something different. Like sometimes I'll be at someone's house, or sometimes like last year I was we had Toshabi and I had his brother over, and we went to a casino during like the afternoon, but then we came home and we just like ate food and like played video games until the new year. The year before that, what did we do in 2022? I don't think much in 2022, like New Year's going into 2023. 2021, I can't even remember. As I don't know. Every year I swear it's very different. So this year, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. Probably low key. Probably pretty low key. But no guarantees. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll go crazy. But especially in Vegas, New Year's, going anywhere in New Year's is very a little bit scary. So I don't want to do anything dumb. So maybe go out during the day. Maybe. But yeah, at night, probably just chill. If there's any friends around, then maybe I'll do something, but most likely not. Most likely just chill, take it easy, hang out with Jax, and yeah, I think it should be a quiet one. So, but that's okay. That's okay, because we are quiet as we lead into an amazing year. And you know what's funny? You know what's funny is the last time I was this optimistic about a year. You want to know the last one? I'm sorry to say it was 2020, and that year kind of sucked. So I'm gonna say I'm really optimistic about 2025, but please don't end up like 2020 again. Okay, I don't, no more of that. I've had enough. I've had enough of 2020. We don't want to repeat. We want a nice, amazing year. That's what we want. And there's a lot of people that had tough years this year, and I'm really hopeful. If nothing else, like everyone can have a really, really great year, because it's been tough. And even these last few years have been tough for a lot of people with COVID and like just a lot of bad stuff. So I think everyone needs a really, really kick-ass 2025. I'm looking forward to that, and I'm gonna drag you guys along with me. For any of you pessimists out there who are like, "Oh, it's not gonna be good," I'm gonna drag you along, and we're gonna make it a good one. So let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. You can't, it just kind of goes back to, and I was talking to Kawa about this today too, but like the kind of willing it into existence, or like, just like fake it till you make it, and that really is like a very successful life strategy. Like you gotta bring the good vibes. You gotta even if you're not sure things are gonna be good, what harm is there in saying that they're gonna be good? Like at least trying to will it into existence. Like what's there to lose? You know what I mean? Like a little optimism, it goes a long way. It really does. It really, really does. So I think it works. Who am I? Just a little guy. Wow, who am I? Just a little guy. What a beautiful sentence from me. But Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess the last few episodes I've kind of acted like it's the last episode of the year and talked about New Year, but we're not at the New Year. Next week is the New Year episode, but I don't know. I just can't help. We had a lot of questions this week about kind of 2025 resolutions and goals and etc. So it's kind of inspired me to look ahead and kind of talk about the year. And to be honest with you, I have no idea what it'll hold. We're just kind of gonna go fake it till we make it, and I am choosing to go into it with an utmost amount of optimism because it beats the alternative, right? It really does. At least in my opinion, I'm gonna feel a lot better if I go in there hoping for the best. And you never know. And I was talking to this about Kawa too. I was like, there's no way for us to know, right? Like we could both have amazing years, we could both have shit years. One of us could have an amazing year, one of us could have a shit year. You never know. You never know. But we'll go in and we will say, let's get some good vibes. Let's get some good happenings. Let's make it a good year. And you know what? Hey, on the bright side, guys, let me tell you, as has always been the case with the vaRAIety stream, no matter what happens, we know we'll always be together. It was a really shit year this year for most of the year, but we still hung out every single Tuesday and Thursday. And we made the most of those times. And even if I wasn't feeling good, I clicked that go live button at 3:55 p.m. every Tuesday and Thursday, and we hung out and we had some good times. We had some, maybe sometimes like not all that great, just whatever streams and stuff. But like we had a lot of good times, and that is the bright side to look at going into 2025. Is no matter what, like I don't know, it's kind of a silly thing to say, but like I hope that people know that like. Some things might change in your life. You don't know what the year is going to hold. But one thing you can count on is that the right shoes consistency will prevail, and you'll see me every Tuesday and Thursday, every other Sunday with the podcast, every day with the YouTube video, and we'll be there together. So I say that, and then promptly on January 1st, I get hit by a bus. No, I'm just kidding. Don't rule that into existence. I'll be here. I hope you will be too, because it wouldn't, we wouldn't have a stream. We wouldn't have a community without all of you amazing people here. So thank you, as always, from the bottom of my heart for being here. But this isn't the last episode of the year. That's next week, my friends. So for this week, we are going to sign out. I am going to say thank you, as always, for listening. And I hope you will listen next week to the season finale, the year finale, the grand finale, whatever finale it is. I hope you'll be there. I know I will be. But until then, much love, and thank you as always for your support.